The story opens with a girl hanging from a tree. Out of nowhere, a blind dinosaur closes in on her. It cannot see her, but in that very moment, she loses her grip and falls. The sound of the impact is enough. The dinosaur locks onto it and begins moving toward her. The girl dives into the water to hide, but the dinosaur finds her there too. What happens to her next? To answer that, we need to rewind. This is a world where humans and dinosaurs exist side by side. The boundaries that once kept these creatures confined to the wilderness no longer hold. Dinosaurs have moved in, literally, sharing space with mankind. But the dream of peaceful coexistence is far from reality. Fear, distance, and conflict between the two species continue to grow with every passing day. Wherever dinosaurs appear, black markets follow close behind. People are willing to do anything: capture them, sell them, exploit them. Illegal poaching spirals so far out of control that the situation becomes impossible to manage. To bring order to this chaos, the American government hands over complete authority on all dinosaur-related matters to a powerful scientific corporation, a company renowned for its work in genetics and bioresearch. Its CEO, Louis Dodson, establishes an exclusive dinosaur sanctuary deep in the mountains of Italy. His public claim is noble: that the ancient immune systems of dinosaurs hold the key to developing medicines that could revolutionize human health. But the public isn't convinced. Many believe the whole operation is nothing more than a dangerous experiment hiding behind a respectable face. And then comes the real twist. Dodson and his company scientist, Dr. Wu, quietly launch a secret experiment of their own. Using dinosaur DNA, they engineer something entirely new, a species of locusts. But these are no ordinary insects. They are massive in size, genetically modified, and engineered to multiply at a terrifying rate. The company secretly releases these locusts into surrounding farmlands, where they begin destroying crops on a devastating scale. But buried within this destruction is an even darker agenda. These locusts only consume natural crops. They leave the company's own patented seeds completely untouched. The plan is brutally simple: wipe out every other food source in the world, then force humanity to depend solely on their seeds. Dodson's true goal is nothing less than total control over the global food supply. Millions could starve, and to him, that is simply the cost of dominance. With this backdrop firmly in place, the real story of Jurassic World Dominion begins. The narrative unfolds across two parallel tracks. We start with our main characters. One night, Ellie and her team sneak into an illegal dinosaur breeding farm. They are documenting everything, recording the horrors taking place inside, while also attempting to rescue a small dinosaur being held captive. Their partner, watching from outside, cannot hold himself back and rushes in to help. But the intrusion is quickly discovered. With no other choice, they grab a vehicle and tear straight into dinosaur territory. Things deteriorate rapidly. Their lives hang by a thread. At the last possible second, a triceratops intervenes and gives them just enough cover to escape. After the dust settles, their partner makes one thing clear: he is done. Ellie's cause was right, but this road was far too dangerous. The story now shifts to our central hero, Owen. He is living quietly off the grid in a remote woodland area, alongside Ellie and a young clone girl named Maisie. Together with a small group of trusted people, they have built a simple, peaceful life, chopping wood, tending to the land, watching over their dinosaurs. But this quiet existence was chosen for a reason. Maisie is no ordinary girl. As a human clone with rare genetic traits of enormous scientific value, she has become a target. Many powerful people want to get their hands on her. Now older, Maisie is growing restless. She craves freedom, and her arguments with Owen over this are becoming more and more frequent. And of course, where Owen is, Blue is never far away. But this time something is different. Blue is no longer alone. She has a child. Motherhood has made her even more fierce and protective. Her instincts razor sharp when it comes to guarding her young. Then one day, a group of ruthless poachers sets a carefully laid trap and snatches Blue's baby. In that same moment, Maisie, who had slipped away on her own, also falls into their hands. Both are kidnapped in one swift strike. Owen discovers what has happened and moves immediately to stop them. But he is outnumbered. They have vehicles, weapons, and the advantage of preparation. All he can do is stand there, watching helplessly as they disappear. He wastes no time. He heads back, gathers what he needs, and begins planning a rescue alongside Ellie. But just as they are about to move out, a furious Blue blocks their path. Owen makes her a promise: he will bring her child back. But Blue's rage is beyond words. She drags her claws across his hand, leaving a mark, a warning. If her child does not return, there will be consequences. Owen and Ellie track down their old friend Barry, who has since become a government agent working to dismantle illegal dinosaur trafficking operations. With his help, the two of them infiltrate a hidden dinosaur black market to begin their covert investigation. The place is nothing short of hell. Dinosaurs are forced into brutal fights for sport. Others are traded openly like commodities. In some corners, dinosaur meat is being cooked and sold. Barry warns them: every kind of dangerous person walks through these doors, so every single step must be calculated. During the operation, Ellie slips into a washroom where she crosses paths with a woman. Unable to stop herself, Ellie pulls out a photo of Maisie and asks if she knows anything. The answer is startling. This very woman was part of the team that transported Blue's baby. She confirms that she saw Maisie there too. But the fear in her eyes is overwhelming. She cannot bring herself to say more. Just then Rain Delacourt, the leader of a notorious poaching gang, arrives with his men to close a major deal. A client has made a very specific demand. Specially trained raptors that can identify and attack a target using laser guidance alone. The deal is on the verge of being sealed when government agents suddenly storm the location. Chaos erupts. Everyone scatters. Owen charges forward and gives chase to Delacourt, setting off a brutal pursuit through the heart of the collapsing black market. When Delacourt finds himself cornered, he releases a massive dinosaur to create a diversion. But the plan backfires. Owen catches him, slams him to the ground, and demands to know where Maisie is. Delacourt's answer is cold. Maisie is no longer with him. She has been handed off. He gives Owen a name, Santos, the woman orchestrating the entire operation. Before Owen can do anything more, the unleashed dinosaur attacks Delacourt directly. Watching everything spiral out of control, Santos contacts her superior to report the situation. But Ellie has already closed in on her. Santos does not hold out for long. Under pressure, she breaks and reveals everything. Maisie has been sent to the Biosyn Corporation's facility. Before anyone can act on that information, the rampaging dinosaur is back, and this time it is coming straight for them. Ellie throws herself off a ledge and lands in a passing vehicle. The same woman from the washroom is behind the wheel. She helps Ellie get clear and confirms what Santos said. Maisie is at Biosyn. And without hesitation, she offers to fly them there herself. Owen hears this and doesn't think twice. He grabs his bike and tears after them. But the threat isn't finished. The trained raptor is still hunting them. As the three race toward what feels like an impossible escape, the plane finally lifts off the ground, and at the very last moment, they tear themselves free from the danger below. The story now pivots to a new direction, turning its attention to the returning characters. We find paleobotanist Ellie Sattler, who reunites with Dr. Alan Grant after a long time apart. She shows him something deeply unsettling, an abnormally large locust she has collected. Ellie has reason to believe a major corporation is behind it all. She explains that every farm struck by these locusts has been wiped clean, except for one thing. The only crops left standing are those grown from seeds produced by that very same company. Someone is engineering a global food crisis and steering the world toward total dependency on their product. Determined to expose the truth, Ellie makes her decision. She will go directly to the corporation's dinosaur sanctuary and retrieve a DNA sample from the locusts herself. She wants Grant by her side. The two of them board a flight and arrive at the facility, where a company employee named Ramsey gives them a warm welcome and walks them through the grounds. The sight of living dinosaurs moving freely through the landscape stirs something deep in both of them. Ramsey explains that the entire ecosystem has been deliberately engineered. Specific plant life has been curated for herbivores. Prey populations are managed for the carnivores. Every element has been arranged to ensure that no dinosaur can leave the boundaries. A remote control system sits at the center of it all, capable of managing any situation at a moment's notice. As they venture deeper into the mountain complex, CEO Louis Dodgson himself appears to greet them. With calculated charm, he speaks of unlocking ancient genetic secrets and using them to treat life-threatening diseases. His mission, he insists, is purely humanitarian. To serve mankind, not profit from it. After the meeting, Ramsey is instructed to escort Ellie and Grant to a special forum, where a very familiar face is already waiting for them. Dr. Ian Malcolm. Once the forum concludes, Ellie and Grant pull Malcolm aside for a private conversation, and he tells them. They reach out to him for help. They tell him they need a DNA sample from the mutated locusts to bring the truth into the open. But surveillance is everywhere. So Malcolm carefully feeds them the information they need. He has been researching these locusts for some time, and the samples are stored in the company's underground laboratory. Then, without drawing any attention, he slips Ellie a small device. It is far from ordinary. It is the key to unlocking the lift that descends into the underground research area. A lift the company calls the Solar Laboratory, an innocent-sounding name designed to raise no suspicions. Malcolm excuses himself and disappears. Shortly after, the company's employee casually walks Ellie and Grant through the facility, and seemingly in passing, points out the specific lift that leads down to the restricted zone, making it equally clear that access requires special authorization. But his gestures say something else entirely. He wants to help them. Meanwhile, Maisie and Blue's baby are brought before Dr. Wu, and here a significant truth surfaces. Wu reveals that Maisie is no ordinary clone. She was created by a woman named Charlotte Lockwood, using her own groundbreaking technology. Shortly after Maisie's birth, Charlotte began showing signs of a dangerous hereditary illness. Knowing what was coming, she had already altered Maisie's DNA, ensuring that the disease would never claim her daughter. Now Wu believes that by studying the genetics of both Maisie and Blue's offspring, he may be able to find a way to control the devastating locust threat. Dodgson, however, has a completely different agenda. His only interest is profit, turning that research into money. On the other side of the facility, Ellie and Grant move with precision. They slip into the solar laboratory and quickly extract a DNA sample from the mutated locusts. But just as they secure it, everything unravels. Maisie appears from behind them, frees Blue's baby, and instantly, alarms blare through the lab. The panicked locusts scatter in every direction. Chaos consumes the space. Ellie and Grant barely make it out, and in the confusion, they cross paths with Maisie. Now the three of them are together, moving as one, desperately searching for a way out. But Dodgson has already been alerted. Someone has breached his system. He activates the full security grid across the compound and brings the air defense online. Outside, the black pilot flying their aircraft is suddenly attacked by a massive winged dinosaur. The sky becomes a battlefield. The ground offers no safety. Death circles from every direction. An emergency landing is the only option. In the chaos that follows, only one parachute remains. Without hesitation, it is handed to Ellie. Owen and the others are left to trust their lives to fate. Ellie manages to reach the ground, but her parachute snags in the trees, leaving her dangling in midair. She cannot move. And something is moving toward her. A Therizinosaurus approaches in slow, heavy steps, its manner unsettling, its presence deeply threatening. Its vision is poor, which is the only reason it has not yet spotted her. But a deer standing nearby is not so fortunate. Ellie understands immediately. If she stays still, she becomes the next target. Carefully she frees herself and drops to the ground, crawling without a sound toward the water. But even the faintest movement is enough. The dinosaur senses her. With no other option, she plunges into the water and holds her breath beneath the surface. Above her, the creature circles, sniffing, searching. Every second stretches like an eternity. Somehow, she survives. Owen and the pilot, meanwhile, survive their own crash landing. But danger does not give them a moment's rest. A pyroraptor launches itself into the icy water and begins circling them, closing in for the kill. They run. Then Owen slips and plunges beneath the surface. Death is seconds away. At the last possible moment, the pilot grabs his hand and hauls him out. But the dinosaur shatters through the ice and comes for them again. Sprinting through a frozen passage, they reach a lift, and the doors seal shut just in time, locking the creature out. They find Ellie's parachute shortly after, and beside it, traces of blood. The fear that grips them in that moment needs no words. Night has settled over the forest, making it darker and more dangerous than ever. But Ellie is already moving. She locates an old control station and steps inside. But there is no rest here either. Something stirs in the shadows. A Dilophosaurus steps forward, ready to strike. Then a strong hand closes around its throat. Owen has arrived just in time. They are together again. Dodgson, meanwhile, has connected the dots. He quickly identifies Malcolm as the one who helped them. He tracks the group's location without hesitation and orders their cabins sealed off. Within moments, everyone finds themselves trapped deep underground, surrounded on all sides by lurking predators. In his fury, Dodgson fires Malcolm on the spot and orders Ramsey to escort him out of the building. But this is where the story shifts. Ramsey is not on Dodgson's side. Instead of following orders, he quietly takes Malcolm below and hands him a vehicle and a full plan. Everything he needs to reach the others and get them out. Ellie, Grant, and Maisie fight their way through the treacherous underground passages and finally reach the mine exit. Then fate slams the door shut. It is locked solid, and the dinosaurs are closing in from behind. Malcolm arrives, but he does not know the access code either. He tries again and again. Nothing works. The situation has become completely impossible. Then, from his monitoring station, Ramsey quietly hacks the system and forces the door open. In the final seconds, everyone pours out to safety. But Dodgson makes one last desperate move to bury the evidence. He orders every mutated locust inside the lab to be incinerated. The decision backfires catastrophically. The locusts do not die in the flames. They become even more dangerous. They pour out of the burning laboratory in a massive blazing swarm, filling the skies with fire and destruction. It looks like the end of the world. Ellie and the others witness it all, but there is no time to stand still. Getting out alive is the only thing that matters now. Then the car Malcolm is driving loses control and rolls down a hillside. And in this one moment, fate draws every thread together. Owen, Ellie, Grant, Maisie, the old world and the new, all of them land in the same place at the same time. But there is no reunion. Because standing before them, emerging from the chaos, is the most terrifying predator on the mountain. The Giganotosaurus. The colossal creature advances. Everyone dives behind the wreckage. Breathing stops. The weight of the moment is unbearable. Now only one question remains. Do they survive this together, or does this become their end? The Giganotosaurus has a sense of smell that can detect human presence in an instant. With no choice left, everyone climbs the nearby observation tower to get out of reach. Maisie is halfway up when the beast lunges with its enormous jaws, nearly closing around her. She barely escapes. But reaching the top offers no real safety. The tower and the creature are nearly the same height. It can reach them directly. In this desperate moment, Dr. Malcolm acts. He grabs a burning locust and hurls it straight into the Giganotosaurus's mouth. The creature goes berserk with pain. In its rage, it begins tearing the tower apart. Ellie's foot becomes tangled in the cables, and she is dragged downward. The creature seizes her. The pilot fires her weapon to pull its attention away, and in that instant of distraction, Ellie grabs an electric rod and drives it directly into the dinosaur's eye. The blow is devastating. The Giganotosaurus recoils in agony and is forced to release her. But the sky is still burning. The compound is coming apart. Dodgson finally breaks. He orders a full evacuation of all personnel. The pilot presents the plan. If they can bring the air defense system back online, she can get them out on her private jet. Everyone moves immediately. They reach the control room, where Ramsey is already positioned. He tells them the power is critically low. Every non-essential system must be shut down to route electricity where it is needed. The team splits. Ellie and Grant handle the shutdowns. Malcolm and Ramsey guide them through it. Owen, Grant, and Maisie go to find Blue's baby. The pilot prepares the aircraft. Everything is running to plan, until it isn't. The moment Ellie shuts a system down, it reboots on its own. Something or someone is fighting them for control of this facility, and has no intention of letting them leave. Pushed to their limit, the two of them make a decisive, dangerous call. They destroy the entire electrical circuit. It is a drastic move. It works. Malcolm finally activates the airborne deterrent system. The scene cuts to Dodgson, rushing toward his escape pod, desperate to get out. Then the power dies. He is swallowed by a dark tunnel. The atmosphere turns suffocating, and then the dinosaurs come for him. The man who engineered so much destruction is consumed by it. The danger he designed for others has found its way back to him. On the other side of the facility, Owen's team finally locates Blue's baby and pulls the young creature to safety. They are almost back with the others when Dr. Wu steps forward. He insists that there is still a way to fix everything. Charlotte, he reveals, altered the cellular structure inside the girl's body. If that secret can be fully understood and applied through the locusts themselves, the threat can be stopped entirely. The helicopter arrives right on time. The pilot has come through. Everyone moves toward the exit, and then a Tyrannosaurus Rex steps into the path. But the Rex is not hunting them. Its eyes are fixed on the enemy, standing behind them. The Giganotosaurus. Two prehistoric titans face each other in silence, and then erupt into a battle that shakes the earth. The T-Rex fights with everything it has, but the Giganotosaurus is stronger, and it brings the Rex down. It appears to be over. Then the pilot throws a signal flare, and a Therizinosaurus nearby answers the call, joining the fight. The balance shifts. Two dinosaurs converge on the Giganotosaurus from different sides. In that window of chaos, the team sprints to the jet and lifts off. But the story delivers one final blow. The T-Rex finds its moment. It slams into the Giganotosaurus with full force, sending the creature crashing directly onto the razor-sharp claws of the Therizinosaurus. Game over. The largest carnivore in history falls. Its ambition to rule ends here, in the dirt and the fire. In the aftermath, Ellie and her team take Biosyn Corporation to court, demanding accountability for every experiment, every cover-up, every life affected. Dr. Wu, for his part, succeeds in neutralizing the locust threat, and publicly credits Charlotte Lockwood as the one whose science made it possible. The old Biosyn site is transformed into a peaceful, protected dinosaur sanctuary, a place where these creatures can live undisturbed, away from human greed. The chaos fades, the world exhales, the battles are over. And with that, this chapter of the story reaches its end, closing on a grand and unforgettable note.